Hello and welcome to Positive Recovery with Karina, being made for www.sobertownpodcast.com. It is your one-stop shop for sobriety. There is everything there. It's so eclectic. You will find so many resources, lots of podcasts, but lots of other great stuff too. So if you haven't already, then head on over to www.sobertownpodcast.com. Yeah, it's just great. I love it. Anyway, cookie jar. Here we go. Well, actually, it's not really a cookie jar. It's a memory jar, but I have commandeered it for all the suggestions you send me. And this week is AA is not the only route to sobriety. And this is really interesting because I've had a lot of conversations about this in a Sobertown chat group this morning, that AA is not the only route, but it is really good for some people and it works really well for some. But what is really important is to know that if it's not for you, there are so many more things out there for you. Sobertown being one of them, obviously. But there are so many Zooms now worldwide as well. There's lots of different sorts of groups out there. There's Recovery Dharma, there's Sobertown Podcast. They're just, I've got some others written down. I can't remember them all. Let me just quickly turn to Zooms and I'll tell you, because I have got some of the Zoom ones in there. Zoom is a wonderful thing in this busy world and was a great resource to many during lockdown and continues to be so. Many communities have Zoom meetings and you can usually find one somewhere in the world at a time to suit you. AA have one every day of the week, as do the I Am Sober community, the Luckiest Memoirs, or We Are the Luckiest, and Recovery Dharma. So they all have daily Zooms. So if you want to, and you want to know more about those, you can Google, you can search, or you can contact me, especially for Sobertown. I know the I Am Sober community as well do informal Zooms. So if you contact me at alcoholandsobriety@gmail.com, I can give you some Zooms for those people. Because sometimes we can be put off our recovery because we can think AA is the only way. And it's not. It is a good way for many. It wasn't for me, but it has helped people that I know of. So that's fine. But as I always say, this journey is our own. We all want a common goal. We're all here to support each other. But the journey is ours and ours alone. We have to do it our way. We can't control others, others can't control us, and what's right for us might not be right for someone else. In the same way, what's right for me one day might not be right for me another day, and that's why it's so important to get so many tools and resources in your toolbox. So collect them. Drifter, the head of sobertownpodcast.com, calls himself a recovery thief. If he sees something he likes, then he takes it, and it's there for the taking. If it's out there, if it can help you, then use it. I think, though, the biggest thing is that we often say, they do say in AA, and that we all take on board, is that connection is the opposite of addiction, that it is really important to connect. And although it's our journey, we don't have to do it alone. And if we do it alone, we're white knuckling, and it's not a comfortable place to be. And we might possibly then become what we call a dry drunk. And you may have seen this term bandied around. I didn't know what it was when I first started. And a dry drunk is basically someone who's just stopped drinking. You haven't actually worked your sobriety, so every day you're craving and you're thinking, oh, well, it shouldn't be like this for me. If you look at my last podcast on Positive Recovery with Karina, it was about entitlement, and that's someone who's if you stay in that mindset, then you'll be a dry drunk. What we have to do in our sobriety, whichever way we want to do it, is we have to connect. We have to find a sober community, or sometimes it can just be a person. You don't have to be an AA to have a sponsor. There are many great people out there that are sponsors. A sponsor is just a term for someone that's there to support you, somebody to help you in your recovery. In AA terms, it's somebody who's a bit further along, but sometimes it can be people that are actually on the same milestone at you, the same place as you, can be really helpful because you can get each other more. Because as we move on in our recovery, we do kind of forget some of what happened before. That's why I tried to encompass a lot of my journey in here. because we can forget what's gone and because we change. I did a podcast recently with Drifter, which will be up in the new year, about how my journey has changed and how when I said my story at the beginning, although the events of my life have stayed the same, my story around them have changed. And our memories aren't the greatest things that we have because our memories change, our perceptions change. We all have different memories, different perceptions, different stories about one event. You can take an event, something that happens in front of us, and we will all have something different to say about that event. That's how life works. That's how perceptions work. And that's why, you know, because of that, one box doesn't fit all. We can't just have AA because we have to have other resources, because we're individuals. We're all different people. We all react and respond in different ways. So we have to find what's right for us. Decaf coffee is one of the things that helps me. Hold on a minute. That's better. And tea, decaf tea. We even got a little tea club going. That was quite good as well. And these are the things we go through our sobriety, and we connect with our different groups and our different communities. As the sobriety, alcohol and sobriety brings us together. And I still am so grateful for my addiction, because without my addiction, I wouldn't have come and founded my community, which was the I'm Sober app, and then developed into Sober Town because that came from there. And without that, I wouldn't have found so many amazing people from all over the world and made such great friends. And some people find it hard thinking, well, how can you have friends? These are just people that you talk to on the internet. But these are people that I've talked to, some of them for over 3 years, who I've told things to that nobody else knows about me because they get me. I don't fear judgment. I'm not judged. And they've become amazing friends. And I've met about 20 of these people in real life. And when we even get there together, it's like a connection. And in fact, Andy came to one meeting with me with Polly A and Hounds. I think it was Christmas before last. We met in Leicester. And Andy hadn't kind of got it. It's like all these people like online, you know, how can they be friends? But he came with us and he was like, wow, he was like straight away, you really are true friends. And I'm actually going on my travels next year. I'm going to Australia, I'm going to Bali, and I'm going to America. And I'm going to visit friends. One is a school friend, but others are Sober friends. And I'm so excited to meet so many wonderful people. Connection really, really is key. And the friendships are amazing that we develop. I can't speak highly enough of them. So AA is good for some, but it's not the only thing. So don't give up. If AA is not for you, don't give up. Look out there, look at different resources. There's the Sober Town community, which to my mind, yes, I'm part of it, but it is leading the way forwards in how communities should be. There are other communities like I Am Sober, This Naked Mind, but the thing is with Sober Town is that we are bringing together so many resources. So it's not like you do it this way and that's the only way. You go on to Sober Town, you will see different books, different podcast providers, different YouTube channels. My YouTube channel is Positive Recovery with Karina, where I podcast a lot and I vlog an awful lot on living positively with sobriety, disability, grief, and now travel, because I am traveling. So just don't give up. AA is the way. It's not the only way. And I'll just talk to you a little bit about AA though, because it's the very, very first heading in my book, which is the A to Z of alcohol and sobriety, everything you need to know. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is one sobriety way, but it's not the only way, so don't worry if it's not for you. I did consider it, as I love the thought of face-to-face meetings, but I quit drinking during lockdown and Zoom really isn't my thing. In this book, you will find alternative sources of support to help you through your journey. AA covers the 12 Steps programme in a set order. Many of us find that we naturally progress through these without ever having picked up the big book. Some women feel AA is very male dominant, as it was founded by men and remained male based for many years. But I know of several women who have found it extremely helpful. Others are deterred by the spiritual aspects of AA, and I was too. But then I looked deeper into the meaning of our higher power. If you want the traditional AA route, you can find meetings in your local area by looking online, Citizens Advice, or your local library. But there is so much more out there for you to look online for. There's Stephanie Covington does a great thing. I think, does she do the 12 steps? Like the women's 12 steps. There's different variations of 12 steps as well. And 12 steps is used by Overeaters Anonymous, and it's also used by Narcotics Anonymous as well. So it's not just used by alcohol. So don't give up. If AA is not for you, don't give in. There is so much more out there. And in fact, it feels like I'm vlogging my book today. Perhaps I should. I'm not very good at self-promotion. But you can see all the resources in here as well. But also at Sobertown too. So there's lots of different ways. The most important is to get out there, find your own resources, find what works for you. And what we also find as well is from every slip and relapse, we can learn from it. And that's really unique to us. But the other really good thing as well is that I would encourage people to do is to share your weakness moments as well, because when I first started out on this journey, I was like really positive and I'd only share about my positive stuff. But it's really, really good to share our weaknesses, because it really does help others, and it helps us as well, because we're not all perfect, but what we are, because what is perfection anyway, but what we are is perfect being ourselves, and that's what matters. And all we can do each and every day is our best. But we don't have to do it alone. There is so much out there to help us. Sobertown Podcast is a good place to start to find lots of different resources. As is my book, The A to Z of Alcohol and Sobriety. Everything you need to know, by me, Karina Alderton. Have fun. Have a good day. Bye-bye for now.